Imagine you're at an office dinner party, and like it or not, you were chosen to give a speech in the middle of it all. You're already paranoid that something terribly embarrassing might happen, and all of a sudden all your fears come to a reality. A hurried waiter trips on a foot and spills red wine on your favorite white shirt, leaving a massive stain the size of Europe. What a disaster, right? How could something like this be avoided? Well, this is where technology comes to the rescue. With the invention of water-repellent fabrics, accidents like that simply bounce off your shirt. Water-repellent clothes have a zero-tolerance policy for any kind of liquid. Rather than soaking it in, they shrug it off. But how is it done? Someone from ancient times might even think it's sorcery, but all it takes is a little bit of crafty manufacturing. So what does any manufacturer worth their salt start with? Selection of the base fabrics. This is the most important step because the fabric's inherent properties affect the final product's performance. And what are some of those properties? Things like weave density, fiber type, and weight have a significant effect on the final outcome. Fabrics like nylon, polyester, and certain cotton blends are commonly chosen for water-repellent treatments due to their durability and suitability for outdoor applications. For those of you who like cotton but don't want to get soaked in the rain, this would be the perfect choice for you. After this step, the fabric is carefully inspected to ensure it's free of defects, as any imperfections can interfere with the treatment process. So, what do they do about this? Before the fabric gets its water-repellent superpowers, it needs a good scrub down. This pre-treatment phase is basically like sending the fabric to a spa day, washing away all the impurities, oils, and whatever else it's picked up along the way. After that, it gets a nice, controlled drying session to make sure there's not a drop of moisture left. Why? Because real magic can't happen with any dampness hanging around. Once it's completely free of all moisture, we can then move on to the next step. And this, guys, is where the fun begins. Now, we arrive at the main event, the moment where the fabric gets its waterproof charm. The application of water-repellent chemicals is both a science and an art. It requires precise control over the types of chemicals used, the application method, and the cutting process to create a fabric that not only repels water effectively, but also maintains its performance over time. So what special technique does this step use? The manufacturers call it padding, which is mostly business, despite its steamy name. Here, the fabric takes a dip in a bath filled with water-repellent chemicals, usually a durable water repellent or DWR solution. These chemicals are like magic potions for fabric, changing its surface tension so it can laugh in the face of water. Factories often use a mix of fluorocarbons. These are the VIPs of water repellency, thanks to their super low surface energy that makes water beat up and flee in terror. Then there are the silicone-based treatments, the more eco-friendly option. Silicones form a thin, flexible shield on the fabric that keeps the water at bay without choking off its breathability. Think of it as giving your fabric an invisibility cloak. Speaking about invisibility cloaks, what kind of water-repellent fabric do you urgently need in your wardrobe? Would you rather have a shirt, white shoes, a jacket, or pants? A jacket is the obvious answer, but we're looking to see how creative you guys can get. Let us know in the comments below which hydrophobic garment can serve the best purpose for your home. The most creative reply gets a special shout-out from us. Now, let's keep things moving with the manufacturing process. As the fabric glides through the bath, it soaks up the magic water-repellent potion. This process is kind of like Tom on the beach splashing sunscreen on his skin. To up the ante, polyurethane or acrylic resin is often added to give the fabric some extra water-resisting muscle. But if the fabric didn't get its proper pre-treatment spa day, the water repellency won't be as impressive. Do any of you remember Black Widow from the Avengers? Without her special quick-drying water-repellent outfit, she might have never made it in time for the final battle against Loki and his demon horde. Remember, at the end of the day, we want to be able to use this fabric as a bucket to hold water, so slacking off with quality control is not an option. To make sure the coating sticks, there is one specialized method manufacturers use. For an even application, the fabric is squeezed between rollers, which press the solution into the fibers and remove any excess. This step is vital to achieving uniform coverage, ensuring that the entire surface of the fabric is treated. Once the fabric has its chemical makeover, it should be ready for wearing, right? Well, not exactly. Now it's time for a little heat therapy. They call this stage heat setting. The product must be heat set to bond the water-repellent chemicals to the fibers. It gets to take a trip through a curing oven, where it's exposed to high temperatures for a set amount of time. Think of it as a sauna for the fabric, but without the relaxation benefits, because something this hot can possibly burn the worker's skin. This is where safety procedures become important. As my grandfather used to say, preventing an injury is 10 times better than curing it. As the heat gets into the fabric, those water-repellent chemicals form a thin, protective layer on each fiber. Plus, this thermal treatment keeps the fabric from getting any wild ideas about shrinking or warping. Depending on the intended use of the fabric, additional treatments might be applied at this stage. For example, the fabric might be treated for UV resistance, antimicrobial properties, or flame retardancy. These treatments are carefully selected to go with the hydrophobic properties without compromising the fabric's breathability or comfort. But that's not all, though. In this modern age, factory owners have to make sure the product can stand the test of time. This is where testing comes in. Once the treatment processes are wrapped up, the fabric gets put through a series of grueling, quality control tests. Think of it as its final exam. These tests check if the fabric can repel water, withstand daily wear and tear, and still let it breathe like a well-trained athlete. One of the tests involves dropping water on the fabric to see if it behaves like a well-mannered guest, beating up and rolling off rather than soaking in like an uninvited party crasher. The fabric also gets a workout to see how it holds up over time and through numerous washes. The manufacturers like to think of it like endurance training for textiles. No one is going to wear a shirt or jacket just once and throw it away. It has to withstand multiple assaults, or it wouldn't be fit for the market. Kind of like its own endurance training. After acing these tests, it heads to the finishing processes, where it gets a makeover. It might be calendared, which is a special process where your future jean jacket is passed through heated rollers for a sleek, polished look. Or it could be brushed or sanded to give it a softer touch, making it as cozy as your favorite pair of sweatpants. The final step is a thorough inspection of the entire fabric roll for any inconsistencies or defects that might have been missed earlier. After passing this inspection, the fabric is wound onto large rolls or cut into sheets, depending on the manufacturer's requirements. It is then packaged carefully to protect it from moisture and damage during transportation. Now that the fabric has had its makeover, it's ready to step into its new life as anything from rugged outdoor gear to everyday essentials like umbrellas and backpacks. Each step in the manufacturing process plays a crucial role to make sure the fabric doesn't just keep the rain out, but also survives whatever rough and tumble it's designed for, all while staying as comfy and breathable as a well-worn t-shirt. This film acts as a shield, boosting the fabric's resistance to washing without compromising its ability to keep you dry. Unlike the old-school methods, where the water-repellent agent was more of a temporary guest, this technique ensures it sticks around for the long haul, even after countless spins in the washing machine. The water-repellent fabric is now ready to be transformed. Beyond keeping rain off your back, hydrophobic fabric has some pretty clever tricks up its sleeve. It's not just used for jackets and umbrellas. This fabric also found its way into all sorts of innovative uses. Think furniture that laughs in the face of spilled coffee, car interiors that stay pristine despite the occasional soda mishap, and medical textiles that repel liquids to maintain hygiene without sacrificing comfort. Perhaps the most exciting use case would be slapping this technology on some shoes and using them to walk on water. Wouldn't that be a sight to see?